Hello everybody, my name is Davis and welcome back to another video, and today we are here for another weather breakdown. Now today we are going to be talking about an ongoing tornado outbreak and a massive winter storm that are both about to sweep across a certain portion of the United States, what it's doing right now, what they're going to do, and more. So let's go ahead and get right into it, starting off the SPCL look for today, where we have a slight risk of severe weather from Louisiana back into Georgia here for the rest of the night. We did have an enhanced risk today, but it did get dropped. Tornado threat for the rest of the night. You have a 5% chance to see a tornado in your town if you're anywhere in this brown area tonight. This does not include any extremely populated areas, but it does include Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and Lake Charles in Louisiana, so look out for that. Damaging wind threat. You have a 15% chance to see wind gusts of 60 miles per hour or higher in your town tonight if you are in this yellow area. This does include New Orleans and Mobile, as well as Montgomery, Baton Rouge, and Metairie, Louisiana. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, so look out for that. Hail threat. You have a 15% chance to see hail of 1 inch or larger in your town if you are anywhere in this yellow area for the rest of the night. This kind of extends from Birmingham back down to Alexandria and Louisiana, okay? So all threats are in play for the rest of the night. Tornadoes, damaging winds, large hail. Really, we're probably just going to be looking at damaging winds and large hail for the rest of the night. I would be very surprised if we get a tornado at this point, but damaging winds and large hail are still in the picture. Now, moving on to tomorrow, we have another slight risk of severe weather, this time extending from Mississippi back into portions of extreme southern North Carolina there. Tornado threat for tomorrow. You have a 5% chance to see a tornado in your town if you're anywhere in the brown area. Damaging wind threat for tomorrow. You have a 15% chance to see wind gusts of 60 miles per hour or higher in your town if you're in that yellow area tomorrow. And then hail threat. You have a 5% chance to see hail of 1 inch or larger tomorrow in your town if you are in that brown area. So look out for that. Going into Tuesday, no severe risk, which will be a nice break. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the NAM 3KM model is doing with these storms. We see right now we kind of have a weakening line of thunderstorms here across portions of Louisiana and Mississippi. This will sweep through parts of Mississippi and Alabama. By midnight tonight, we're looking at an absolute mess here. It's just going to be strong thunderstorms likely, right? But we get into like 3 a.m., they do kind of become more organized into a cluster across portions of Alabama and Georgia. And then we get a little bit of a line formation to pop back up here in portions of the Florida Panhandle, Alabama, and Georgia here by 10 a.m. tomorrow. This will kind of sweep through the deep south. We may even be looking at some severe action in places like Tennessee and possibly even up to Kentucky. We're also seeing our snowstorm starting to mix in there on the back end of this thing, and then we see the snow really start to take over at around 6 p.m. tomorrow. And I mean, this is going to be some of the heaviest snow that we've seen all winter. It is going to be insane if the models are predicting correctly. So we get into 8 a.m. here on Tuesday, right? We go ahead and take this to the northeastern United States. We see snow taking over much of New England here. Heavy snowfall, okay? This is going to be like a winter storm, okay? There's no way to describe this other than intense snowfall, okay? We are also going to be looking at some possible gusty wind action with this, at around 9 a.m. on Tuesday. It's probably going to be at its peak intensity. Definitely going to see a lot of cancellations in this area for things like work, school, that kind of stuff. So look out, but rain could mix in at times, and I mean, we're literally right along the freezing point here, around 32 degrees for a lot of these areas. So we may see rain mix in, and, some of this may even turn into ice. So we're going to have to look out for this, okay? It's definitely going to be a nasty snowstorm. We take a look at the snow totals here. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom in, actually. Let's take a look at, how do I do this? Sorry, I should have done this before the video started. Regional, we'll start with the South Central United States. Okay, so on top of what you've already seen, within the next 72 hours, this is not on top of what you've already seen. This is what you're going to see with this snowstorm. In areas of the panhandle of Texas, we could be getting over half a foot of snow, isolated areas up to 8 inches here in the Texas panhandle, the southern Texas panhandle. If you're in like the northern Texas panhandle, you're not going to be seeing much, okay? Maybe half an inch to an inch of snow, okay? We even get into like out of the Texas panhandle here, just into like North Texas in general. We could see some areas reach half a foot or more. Now that's going to be very isolated. Most of North Texas is not going to see anything, but I mean, we still got some areas here in North Texas that are looking at a few inches. Even back into New Mexico here, we could see some areas that end up with over half a foot of snow out of this, but that, again, that's isolated, widespread, a few inches of snow in eastern New Mexico. Oklahoma, the Oklahoma City area is going to be a very interesting area to watch because we could be looking at around half a foot of snow, but just to the southwest, we could be looking at some areas seeing 8 or maybe even 9 inches of snow southwest of Oklahoma City, okay? And most of Oklahoma is not going to be seeing that much, maybe a widespread inch, but some areas not even that. So we go into Arkansas. We see some areas in northern Arkansas potentially reaching upwards of 7, 8, maybe even 9 inches, but isolated spots even getting to 10 or 11 inches of snow in Arkansas possibly out of this event, which would be huge for you guys. That would be by far the most snow you've seen all winter, 11 inches. And we drag this up here. We're gonna take this into the Ohio Valley now. So we click on the Ohio Valley. We see southern Missouri is sitting, if you're in southwestern Missouri, half a foot or more of snow is likely for your area. Again, that isolated area could reach 9 or 10 inches in Missouri, but that's not gonna be a widespread thing. But most of southern Missouri, at least, 4 or 5, maybe even half a foot of snow. Okay, it's gonna be quite a bit. Illinois, maybe extreme southern Illinois, looking at a bit of accumulation from this, maybe 3 inches an isolated area could reach. We get into Tennessee. Northern Tennessee could see some action out of this, but really this model is not showing too much for Northern Tennessee, the ECMWF model here. Maybe some isolated areas get a quarter of a foot of snow. Okay, we go into Kentucky. We see Kentucky at a widespread few inches of snow for sure here. Some areas in like northern Kentucky could get over half a foot of snow. Again, that's an isolated thing, but widespread few inches of snow for Kentucky, I would say. West Virginia, going to be looking at a few inches of snow out of this. We go ahead and take this even further to the north and the east because, yes, this threat is going to be extending all the way into the northeast here. Okay, Pennsylvania could receive some of the most snowfall out of this entire event than anywhere else, okay? We are seeing isolated readings up to 15 inches here in northeastern Pennsylvania. If that is correct, that would be the heaviest snow you've seen all winter. Okay, again, a lot of this is not going to stick because this area is going to be right along the 32-degree mark, but 15 inches of snow, that is ridiculous. So you're going to want to look out for that. And then even the rest of New England, like southern New England is looking at a widespread, like 10 inches of snow pretty much on average. Some areas only getting 8 or 9. Then you get into like central New England, that's kind of where our cutoff is. That's where you could be looking at a few inches of snow if you're lucky. You get into northern New England, and I mean, it's a dusting to an inch or two really for you guys. New York City itself is interesting to look at because it's kind of right along the line there, all right? Are you going to get half a foot or are you going to get 10 inches? I'm kind of leaning towards more of the half a foot thing here, like the ECMWF model is saying. I think half a foot of snow is a reasonable guess for New York City. Again, a lot of that's not going to stick. Long Island could be receiving probably about a half a foot of snow out of this event if you're lucky, but mostly 4 to 5 inches across Long Island. I know I do have some viewers in Long Island, which is why I'm spending so much time on it, but yeah, definitely going to be an interesting winter storm to watch. Finally, watches, warnings, and advisories. Still have that tornado watch in effect for the rest, or for the next couple hours at least here for portions of eastern Louisiana, southern and central Mississippi here, so look out for that. Flash flood warnings in effect for portions of central Mississippi as well. Severe thunderstorm warning for a part of southeastern Louisiana, but by the time this video's up, that will have expired. Winter weather advisories there in the purple, winter storm warnings in the pink, winter storm watches in the blue. We got a lot of those across the northeast, the Ohio Valley, even some of the Tennessee Valley, and then also the deep south. I may even go live for a double threat coverage tomorrow. Snowstorm plus severe weather outbreak. Let me know if you'd like to see that, but that's going to be it for today. This was a very long weather breakdown video, but I hope you guys still enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.